Hello. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden, and welcome to a co-working stream. So the plan for today is I'm just going to work on listed. I am going to work on features, and I'm not going to talk while I'm doing it so that I can get as much done as possible. So we created this list of features that we would like to do before launch. And so today I'm just going to work on as many of these as I can. And the idea is to do 60-10 Pomodoros. So I will be working for 60 minutes without talking. And then I'll do a 10-minute break and talk to the chat, catch up, and then go back into 60 minutes of work. And so if you all are following along at home, you can put me on in the background. I'm going to have music playing. I also made it so that you can hear me typing like the old days. Let's see. Yeah. So nice ambient keyboard typing sounds. We're using Postgres for the database. If you check out the repo, the README has all of the tech that we're using. So that's the plan for today. I think we're just going to jump right into it because I'm already late. And I can't wait for all the people that are going to come in asking what I'm doing. But you all can help. So if someone comes in and they ask, what is he doing? Why isn't he talking? We have a couple of commands. And thank you, one computer guy, who says, driving right now, but dropped by for the sub. We'll watch the VOD later. Oh, I appreciate that, one computer guy. But yeah, so the today command has what we're working on today. And the work command describes the Pomodoro. So 60 minutes of work, 10 minutes of a break. And I will have a timer going so you'll know when the next break is. Yeah, quick rundown of what we did yesterday. We had Paolo on, and he helped us implement page transitions. So I'll have to open up I'll have to open up Chrome for these. Yeah. Yeah. I know America 2050. This is very uncharacteristic of a Coding Garden stream, but it is what it is. I get nothing done when I have to talk through every single thing that I do. So I'm not nothing done. Way less things done. So I'm just going to work. And you should too. If you're watching at home, you should use this as motivation to work on the things that you've been meaning to work on. And thank you, WBW. Thank you for that resub. Curious how long I can stay silent. I can be quiet for days. I am a very quiet person. Can we talk about how many minutes over 10 you take to ask questions? Sure, but I'm gonna do a hard limit on the 10 minutes. Cool, but yeah, let me show you what we implemented yesterday with Paolo. So Paolo has a library, SvelteKit view transitions. Let me get the name right. We can find it in the root layout, I believe. SvelteKit-view-transition. So Paolo works on this library, and check it out. Whenever you click on a list, things animate. So you can see that the title animates, the two images animate into place, and then they animate back into place when you navigate back to the home page. So we added those page transitions, and basically it's set up for other page transitions when we decide to add them. So we added that. Also, you can see all of the icons that we added. So we had Fob, who is a mod here on the channel. He came and paired with me, and we added icons. So you can see every single button has a nice little icon next to it. Yeah, that's Fob right there. And we also, in literally any button in the UI, we made sure we had a button, we had an icon, and we use consistent coloring. So you can see like the create button is like this yellow color, The edit button is this blue color, etc. And then lastly, we worked on the list create and update user experience. So when you go to the create form, it doesn't make sense for the create button to be enabled because you actually haven't put anything into the form yet. And now, once you start editing the form, the button's enable. And if you attempt to leave the page, it's going to warn you. So this is a good user experience because you don't want users to lose all of their progress after if they've edited the form. Similarly, whenever you edit a list, you don't click update until there are actual changes that have been made. So yeah, like let's say I add a new channel here, and now that I've added something to the list, the form has changed, and we can click the update button, which then updates it. The other thing is we are using the super forms in order to handle all of the form state, and also that library automatically handles preventing the user from going back if there are save changes. Yeah, we could work on the UX America 2050 because like technically we're enabling it once the form is dirty or tainted, as this library, the term they use. But we could also only enable if the form is valid. That's something we could definitely look on. We could definitely do. Yes, I agree with that. I'm not going to do it though because I have other things I need to work on. But yeah, that's what we worked on yesterday. I mean, it's not trivial. We did a lot of work, but it also wasn't. There's more that I want to get done. So yes, I'm about to stop talking for an hour and just get some code done. If you want to see the list of features that I'm working on, you can go to the listed repo. In here, there is a file called MVP features. And thank you, Sir Sebeko. Thank you for the prime. And these are the things we're going to work on. The first thing I'm going to work on are list permissions and auth. So right now, even if a list is set to private, anyone can view it. So I need to lock that down so only the creator can view a private list. That's the plan. That's what I'll be working on. Anything else I need to say? Any other questions I didn't answer? I think that's mainly it. Like I said, help people out when they come in here and they're like, what the heck is going on? And first of all, do exclamation mark today, do exclamation mark work, and all the links are there. Today, work has everything you need to know. I am not going to look at the chat again for an hour, a whole hour. Behave yourselves, and also feel free to chat with each other. But ultimately, here's what we're about to do. Let me show you. We're going to put on some ambient background noise, like that, and then some really nice lo-fi music, like that. And you will be able to hear me typing. I'll probably work through ads just because I'm not talking. That's my plan right now anyways. But here's a preview of what the next 60 minutes are going to be like. Because I'm not talking. You should be able to hear the typing on top of the music. At least let me know that you can hear that. Yeah. You are joking? Okay. How are the levels, right? You can hear the music, you can hear me typing, you can hear the ambiance. All right, let's get into it, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Let's write some code. I hope that you can be productive in your work today as well. Put me on in the background. Let's get busy. All right, everyone. Can you believe it's been an hour? I can't believe it. We did it. We did it, everyone. And I got some stuff done. Oh man. I got some serious stuff done. No, we're back. We're back, everyone. It's been an hour. And thanks everybody for hanging out. There's a lot of you here. I appreciate you. I'll tell you what I worked on, and I'll tell you what I'm struggling with now, which is just like, this is the silliest thing. I mean, maybe I'm not understanding the account type here, but I am literally trying to update an account where these two properties are these two values, and Prisma doesn't like it, and I don't know why. I mean, if we look at my, I'm going to be in the weeds for just a second because I can't get my mind off of it. But like, we have the account model. The account model has a provider account ID. I need to do two ands. Is that because I'm not specifying the ID? But I need provider account ID and user ID because it's not unique. I see. So because they're not unique values, I potentially need an and here. I do it like this. I don't know. No, account just has to do with auth.js. It's just a separate table in the database. All right, we'll come back to this. To do. What the heck? I'm gonna set an 8-minute timer to give you a rundown of what I worked on, and then we'll get back into coding. So, update mini. That's probably what I need. Because update is like update 1. It's like expecting expecting an ID property. There's no open curlies on that if. What is wrong with me? You're totally right. Okay. Great, but let me show you what I worked on. So I finished up visibility for lists. So if you create a list that is private, only you can view it. If someone else is logged in and they try to go to it, they can't see it. If someone is not logged in, they can't see it. So I fixed that with just a database query. So I'll show you that. Oh yeah, and thank you, Flickr. Thank you for those 10 bits a few minutes ago. I appreciate that. All right, so specifically, we were working on private lists can only be viewed by the creator. So now, if we go to the app, can you not? What's going on here? Do I have a syntax error? What is going on? Oh, I think it's just a type error, and then the app won't start with a type error. Is that the issue? Yeah, that's the issue. Okay. So, for instance, if we look at this list, it has a visibility of private. And so I'm the owner of this list, so I can actually see it. But if I attempt to go to this list in a private tab, hide the topic overlay. I can't go to it because it is private. But if I were to swap this back to unlisted or public, now anyone with the link can see it. And so in this private tab where I'm not logged in, I can now see it. Similarly, if I make this private and then log in as a different user, so if I go in and log in as this user, let's see. And I'm working on a new OAuth flow right now, so that's why you see that. But if, as this user, if I attempt to go to this list, I get a 404 not found because I don't have access to this list, and even though I'm logged in, I can't access someone else's list if it was set to private. So the Windows keyboard has the Windows key, and that's just the command key for a Mac. Alt is Option, and then Control is on the far left. I'm just used to them being in that location. Okay, so how did I actually implement this? Let's log back in. I just updated a database query. So when you go to a list, we grab it from the database. So in routes, list, watch, not watch, yeah, so watch a specific list. This is the file that's going to run on the server side when you go to a list. And we pass in the user's ID if you're logged in, and there is a session. If you're not logged in, then this is just undefined. But if you are logged in, we pass in the user's ID to this database query. And here we say, query for that list, given that list ID, because we're querying by ID. And if it's public or unlisted, great. If the user is logged in, then we also want to see if there are any lists with that list ID that has this user ID and are set to private. And what this allows us to do is when we do this query and a list is set to private, it's not going to show up, so no one can, and they're not logged in or they're not this specific user, they won't get that back. There were other ways to do this. I was thinking like maybe I could just query for the visibility first, and then if the visibility isn't private, then return it. But this is more efficient because we literally only get the data if they would have access to it. We haven't talked about architecture. No, I'm trying to get all the other features done. I'll probably do the architecture tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, that's mainly it. Is there a reason for find first instead of find unique? I think either would work in this scenario. The thing is, ID is a unique value. And I'm not sure if find first versus find unique would have any implications on this query. So find unique, so find unique probably only allows you to specify columns with unique constraints? Is that accurate? I don't know. This query seems to work for us, so that's good to go. Find first is, I mean, ID is an indexed column. It's still going to use, I mean, it's still going to be a very fast query because ID is indexed. We probably want to index, I guess, visibility too. But no, I guess if you're querying by one column and that column is indexed, the other stuff is just extra. Yeah, but that's the thing. There never will be more than one because the ID is unique. So yeah, this took me a second to figure out the querying for, but we got that going. And then I did find a bug that I wasn't exactly able to figure out, though I did see a comment in the YouTube chat that mentioned how we could potentially fix it. But right now there's a bug. When you log out, I was unable to redirect to the homepage. Let's try what was suggested in the YouTube chat, because I was just trying the go to method, but apparently there's a redirect method, and maybe I need that in navtrail. So when a user signs out, can we try redirect from SvelteKit? I think redirector only works on the server side. Yeah, I know, Chad. I'll have to fix that. Yeah. 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 This is only on the server, so I'll show you. I mean, I tried using goto. So goto is navigation. It can be used on the front end. So sign out, that's a method provided by auth.js SvelteKit auth, and then go to the homepage. But I'll show you what happens. So like if I'm on a list and then I log out, it goes to the home page. Oh, you know what it is? I bet it's our redirect logic. It goes to the home page and then it redirects back to the page we were just on. I think the issue is like the session somehow still exists, but we're doing like redirects in the protected pages. Like, yeah, so if there is no session and we're trying to get to a protected route, go to the home page. But ultimately, watching a list isn't a protected route, so like this code would not run. And then just maybe it's something to do. I feel like we have other like redirect logic somewhere. Calling that sign out method does all of the nuking of everything. That kills everything. And this call to sign out is happening on the front end. I mean, it's happening on the front end. It's potentially making like a backend request to like remove the session. Yeah. I mean, what if we did something silly like a set timeout? Because I have a feeling like the two things are conflicting with each other. Like, set a timeout for, I don't know, a second. Yeah. Let's see. So we go to a list, we click log out, and then after 1 second, try to it doesn't redirect. I don't know what's going on. I honestly don't want to debug it so much because it's such a trivial thing, but that was an issue. Can I look at the code for sign out? I can, but yeah, again, I'm done. I can't waste my time on such mundane things. It's not important. But it's on the list, so we're gonna fix that. Yeah. Setting window location probably would work because that would actually be like a full redirect. Yeah. So what I'm working on right now is we want to be able to access the lists via slug. So right now there's this long ugly ID in the URL. We want to access it via slug. But we've talked about slugs in the past, and the issue is it can be somewhat complicated if you want slugs to be unique across all users, but having slugs unique to an individual user would be fine. The issue is I also don't want a long, ugly user ID in the URL. I want to have a nice little handle like this, and then the name of the list like this. So this would be ideal, right? So if I had a URL that looked like this, I could share with someone. They know that they're going to a list under my username and with the name Cooking Channels. So that's cool. And then also two different users could have a list called Cooking Channels with a nice slug Cooking Channels, but the URL is always going to have to be prefixed with a username. But in order to do that, I needed the YouTube username in my database. So that's what I've been working on right now. Yeah, very similar to GitHub. Two people can have two repos with the same name. But they're what's the word? Aliased under username. Now, because this is MVP, right now we're just gonna go by the YouTube username. That's it, that's all. We could have our own internal username system. I don't want to manage that. Now, where this breaks down is if in the future we want to add other services that aren't just YouTube, like let's say we want to add TikTok, or we want to add Twitter or Instagram. This starts to break down. I mean, we could prefix the URL with like YouTube, so you know, or like the provider name, like Google. But that makes the URL even uglier. So right now for MVP, we are assuming that all users are YouTube users. And if you create a list, it's going to have your YouTube handle in the URL. And so I was thinking about how do we get the YouTube handle? Because right now Auth.js doesn't handle that because it's just basic OAuth stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm tapping into when the user signs in. I tried tapping into, there's a few other events we can look at, like link account, updated, created. Those, for whatever reason, aren't getting called consistently. But the sign-in method gets called no matter what. It gets called when there's a brand new user. It gets called when there's an existing user. And the other thing, everyone has a YouTube handle. They just may not have updated it, which is why I'm doing it on sign-in. So anytime you sign in, I'm going to update your YouTube handle because you could have changed it. And so we're going to pull that from the YouTube API. And so every time you sign in, I go out and get the user channel from YouTube. So using the access token that's provided, I added a new OAuth scope that says we want read-only access to your YouTube channel. And so I added that right here. And so this gives us read-only access so we can actually get the YouTube handle and YouTube channel ID. The other thing we should be able to do, we might have to add another scope for it, but this makes it so that now that we're already doing this, we can also request the user's list of subscriptions. And so if, what was I saying? If we want to have a nice user experience where we show the user's existing YouTube subscriptions that make it like easier to add them to lists and stuff like that, or you could like create a list out of your subscriptions and then like maybe like start to organize them or something, we could add that scope here and then we get access. We could make a YouTube API request to get their list of subscribed channels. For now, we're just getting read access to their profile, which gives us their handle. So we get their handle, and then I updated the Prisma schema to add a username column to the account table. Now the account table can hold different types of accounts because it's like generic for OAuth. But if the provider is Google, then I know that I can set the username there. Yeah. Yes, but that's the way YouTube works too. I guess technically videos have unique IDs and lists have unique IDs. But yes, that's exactly it. If somebody changes their handle name, then the links are going to break. I think I'm okay with that. That's a decision I'm making right here, right now. You would just have to update your links. Now, there's the other thing of like, all right, do you want to handle like redirects and stuff like that? No, we're using YouTube data as the source of truth. So whatever your handle is on YouTube, even if you change it, that's what the URL to these lists will be. Now, this is exactly why I'm not talking to chat, because I mean, you're right. You bring up a great point, Vidith. Like, there's a lot of implications of if they change their channel name, and then I talked about it earlier, if we add other services. But this is MVP, and I'm just trying to get it working. So that's what I'm working on right now. I was running into an issue with a DB update, but I think we can fix it because right now I think update is though not the method that I want. But basically, if we were able to find the user's username, we should, I guess, update mini will allow us to say where the user ID is that and the provider account ID is that. Beautiful. So update the user's account where it's that, and then set the username to be the username that we just got back from the Google API, and now the user's username will actually exist in the database. So when we attempt to go to a list, we'll have to look up the user based on that handle and then grab their account, grab their like list from there. Okay. I'm gonna go back into 60 minutes of work time. So if you're just joining us, we're doing Pomodoros today. So work, it starts right here. It starts right now. Work for 60 minutes and then take a break. I think I took a longer than 10-minute break. Probably. I didn't even keep track. But we're going back to work, everybody. So you may be curious what is happening. I have this co-working music playing in the background. I know you, I mean, that's the whole reason people tune in is to hear me talk. But the thing is, it takes a lot out of me. I was able to get that locking down private lists. I got that working. I looked at the clock. I got it working in under 20 minutes. And then I've already, I mean, the fact that I was able to add a new OAuth scope, I'm already calling the API. The only hiccup I ran against was, all I'm saying is in an hour of not talking, I got a lot of stuff done, so I'm gonna go back to it. So that link in the chat is where the background noise is coming from. It's like ambient working noise. And then if you do !music, it has the music that we're listening to as well. All right, I'll see you all in an hour. And I hope that you all get some work done as well. So put me on in the background, put the nose to the grindstone and do work. All right, so I'll see you in 60 minutes. Here we go. Yeah, I see the issue with the YouTube stream. I don't know if there's anything I can do. I think it ended the stream automatically. The music I have a permission to listen to because it's from Chillhop. But in the meantime, yeah, you gotta head over. I guess you probably can't hear me right now.